Hello everyone, I'm Sneha. Today I will show you how easy it is to change roles in DataGuard or Active DataGuard in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Oracle Database operates in one of the two roles, primary or standby. Oracle DataGuard maintains the standby database by transmitting and applying redo data from the primary database. Now, DataGuard helps you change the role of a database using either a switchover or a failover. And then we can reinstate the failed primary to the standby role. So let's know more in the demo. I have now logged into the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Let's go to our base database service. Okay, so I have my primary server, my primary database, and my secondary, which is my standby. So let us go to the primary environment, which is where the primary database resides. So I'm going to the database. Okay, let's go to the DataGuard associations. Okay, so you can see here I have a peer DB system, which is in a standby role named secondary as the DB system. Okay, so I have an option here to switch over. I can even do an edit DataGuard association where I can change it to or toggle between the active DataGuard or the DataGuard. I can also change my protection mode from availability to performance, and also accordingly the transport type will be changed from sync to async. So we can see the switch over here. So please note, from the primary, I can see the switch over because both the databases, the primary and the standby is available. So we are going to now monitor our alert log files. Okay, so I'm giving a switch over, entering my password. So this is my administrator password for the database. Okay, so database is in an updating status now. So you can see the difference that or the messages that will now being showing on the alert log file. So it shows that the switchover verification is currently in progress. Okay, so switchover verify begin. Okay, now what happens in a switchover? Okay, a switchover reverses the primary and standby database roles. So in this case, if you see here, we have the primary, which was in a read write, and we had the secondary, which is an active DataGuard in read only. Okay, so we will now be reversing the role wherein the primary database will be on a secondary server and standby, which is on the secondary server, will now be on our primary. Okay, so let's see, it will take some few minutes, and usually this is done, especially when you are doing some we want to perform some planned maintenance on a DB system, and as I've said that we also have the failover, which I will show you further in the demo, and that is done usually when you have any kind of an outage, because obviously your primary system is not available, and that is what I showed at the start, the switchover option, which is available from the primary, and the failover option, which we could see from the UI, which is available from your secondary. So if you see this, all these things are automated, like some of the activities, for example, the verification of the primary and the target standby databases, then whether they are enabled and in the online state, then the switching of the roles, okay, updating the internal control files, restarting the new primary and the standby databases, etc. So all this has been automated. So as seen here, now the status has changed from updating to available. Okay, so the switchover has been completed successfully. So let us see the details out of here, what you can see now from here. Okay, earlier you could see switchover, now you're seeing failover because the primary is now as the standby database. So let me go to the standby, earlier standby, which is the secondary node. Okay, I'm going to the database. We're going to the data guard association, and you should be able to switch over at this point. Okay, so the database has successfully reversed the roles. Okay, now that we have seen the switchover, let's have a look at the failover activity. So we're going to the database. Okay, so I'm at my data guard associations where I have my primary and secondary. So I'm now where my standby database is. Okay, so I have the failover. So suppose there is some kind of an unplanned outage. Okay, you can go to this option where your primary is not available. You can go to failover and give your password. So you can fail over to your standby database. Okay, so you can keep a watch on the primary database. So we would be having a database which is available in read-write mode here, and this is our standby database. Remember, we had done the switchover. Okay, so in case of unplanned outage, for example, if the existing primary database fails or becomes unreachable, then a failover can be initiated. Okay, so in this case, the standby database is transitioned into the primary role after the existing primary database is unavailable. And a failover might result in some data loss when you use maximum performance protection mode. Okay, so you can see here, which is a standby database. The failover has completed, almost completed, and it has opened the database. Okay, so failover succeeded. Primary database is now primary_P. So this is now the primary database. Now there is no actions that will happen over here because this is a failover, right? So there's nothing that will be happening on your standby, assuming that the location, there is some issue, there's some major outage at your primary side. So very soon, this will then change to your green status. And what happens in this case, in case of a failure? You have an option. What happens to the standby? Okay, you have an option to reinstate the particular standby database. So if there's some major outage out over there, once the server is available, you can reinstate this database. So let's see reinstate option here. Yes, so I'm going to click on the reinstate, entering my administrator password. Okay, so you can see at the standby, there's a lot of internal processing that's happening. The parameters are being automatically set that's required to bring your standby database up and in sync with your primary database. Okay, so you will be soon able to see that this database is back to as your standby. Okay, so the database is now available and it is back as a standby database. So let's go back to our primary database. The database is now available. So if you see this, then you will no longer be able to see the reinstate command, but you will see the switchover. So we now have seen the switchover operation, the failover, and also the reinstate. Thank you.